In a quiet, mountainous village, cloaked in clouds, cradled by the arms of ancient pine forests, there lived a young man named Mihir. He was poor, not just in gold or grain, but in certainty. While the villagers toiled in fields, followed in their father's footsteps, Mihir's hands, they were often found scribbling in the dust or carving shapes from fallen twigs. His heart, untethered, full of dreams yet undefined, always seeking something, meaning maybe, in the murmurs of wind and the shadows cast by firelight. He was friendly, generous, but inside Mihir wrestled with silent wars. A quiet fear of death clung to him like a shadow, whispering that every goodbye could be the last. Rejection? It stung like mountain thorns, and loneliness, that silent wolf, often kept him company in the night. Still, he smiled easily, hiding his trembling spirit behind curious eyes and open palms. The village boys? They mocked him. Drifter, they'd say. Dreamer. He didn't argue. Only the old trees knew how much he longed to belong. Then, as autumn's first breath painted the leaves in amber hues, a monk arrived. He was different, a traditional monk, his robes weathered, feet bare. Silence? Profound. He didn't stay in the village. He made his home in the ruins of an old stone shrine, near the cremation ground, a place of literal fire and death, avoided by all but the grieving. Children whispered he spoke to ghosts. Elders said he spoke to God. And Mihir, drawn by a thirst he couldn't name, he approached. His friends laughed, jeered. Looking for more riddles, Mihir? Maybe this monk will help you fly with your imaginary wings. He smiled, unfazed. Maybe he will. The monk said nothing when Mihir bowed, but his gaze, dark and endless, flickered like he'd been expecting him. From then on, Mihir visited daily. Sometimes they sat in silence. Other times, the monk would speak, slowly, like water dripping through stone. You fear death? He asked once. Mihir nodded. And being forgotten. Then burn your name, the monk said, pointing toward the cremation fires, and watch who remains. Another day, Mihir said, I feel broken, like my soul was poured into the wrong mold. The monk handed him a cracked bowl. Fill this with water, he said. Carry it up the mountain. If not a drop spills, you are whole. Mihir failed, of course. Water sloshed, spilled. But when he returned, ashamed, the monk only smiled. You have climbed, that is enough. The lessons were never direct. He never gave Mihir answers, only more questions, symbols, silences. And yet, Mihir changed. His friends noticed first. He no longer flinched at cruel jokes. His steps grew firm, his gaze steady. One evening, when a child wandered too close to the fire pit, Mihir dove in without thinking. He emerged with the sobbing boy wrapped in his arms, soot on his face, eyes calm. What happened to you? They asked. Mihir didn't reply. He only looked toward the shrine. One cold night, the monk summoned him. It's time, he said, handing Mihir a small object, an amulet, woven thread, sealed with wax. This will protect you, he said, but only if you trust it. Protect me from what? Mihir asked. Yourself. Then the monk pointed toward the cremation grounds. Tonight, you will sleep there, alone. Fear coiled around Mihir's heart. The crackling of pyres, the sobs of mourners, the smell of ash and loss, all of it haunted that place. Yet something within him, some ember of trust, nudged him forward. So he went. With the amulet around his neck, he sat beside the dying embers. Hours passed. The wind hissed through skeletal trees. Cries echoed. He trembled, then sobbed, then finally breathed. He wasn't alone. Not truly. He had himself. By dawn, something in him had quieted. He returned to the monk, eyes wide but unafraid. "I did it." The monk nodded. "And what did you learn?" "That I'm still afraid, but I am more than my fear." The monk smiled. "Good. Now, give me the amulet." Mihir hesitated. It had become a talisman, a comfort, but he obeyed. The monk broke the seal and opened it. It was empty. "There was nothing?" Mihir asked. "There was everything," said the monk. "You believed in it. That belief made you brave. But it was always you." The monk stood, and for the first time he placed his hand on Mihir's shoulder. "True power," he whispered, "lies in self-trust." Mihir carried that truth like a seed, and with time it bloomed. He became a quiet guide for others, not a monk, not a teacher, just a man who had faced the fire and found peace within it. Years later, travelers would visit the village asking about the shrine, the monk, the boy with calm eyes. They would find no shrine, no monk, only a man who smiled gently and said, "All the magic you seek is already inside you." And on the wall of his simple home hung the amulet, still empty, still powerful.